I'm here today not as a spy. You have to trust me. I know that being here in front of so many product managers and talking about engineering could sound a little bit suspicious, but I'm one of you. In fact, let me properly introduce myself. I come from Bulgaria, as you just heard, from a very small town. You have to zoom in quite a lot on the map to find it. And I'm now based in Munich, where I'm a product manager at Carly, a startup trying to change the way you deal with your car. I've been a product manager now for 5 years. I found my passion, I can say, and I've been thrilled to do this on a daily basis. But I have a confession to make today. Sometimes in my busy day, doing product discoveries, delivery, analysis, user stories, and so on, I sometimes forget to be a human being and to actually form meaningful relationships with the people that I work with. We all know that teamwork is extremely important to the success of a product that we're building. And so we schedule those team activities, Friday beers and whatnot. But I was wondering, is that enough? I think I wish to see more of this relationship building as part of our to-do lists. And I think today, we already heard in some of the other talks that these relationships could really help us being more successful as product managers and also delivering better products. Today, I actually want to talk about Today I want to talk about the relationship that a product manager could have with the engineers themselves. We heard earlier today that we should go out and make friends with the marketeers, with the customer success people, with the other functions, the sales people as well. But I was wondering, why are we not talking about engineering more? I think, as Marty Kagan puts it, there's probably no more important relationship for a successful product manager than the one with your engineers. And I was thinking, how many engineers actually we have here today? I have to say, probably not that many. I was talking to some of you guys, and I realized we have quite a few designers with us here today, which is awesome. And I was wondering, I think we naturally tend to make friends with the designers more, with the marketeers more so than with the engineers. And I think it's really a pity, because I think it could be something that could be helpful for us. And I have to say that reflecting on my career so far, I think the one relationship that was super crucial was the one that I had with my engineering lead specifically. And so today I want to zero in on why it's important to build that relationship. I was wondering how to explain this unique contribution that this role has. And I think the best way is if we just imagine for a second that we didn't have that person on our team. What I see is I'll be struggling more with grasping the technical concepts. I think I'll be missing some of the support in dealing with the team. I'll be missing that specific perspective. But most of all, I'll be losing a partner that shares the burden together with me to deliver an outstanding product. I would say this partner is actually something that has really defined my career so far. I was thinking, basically, the engineering lead actually is the one that holds the fort down. And if you imagine yourself as a product manager being out there in the organization, finding clarity for the product strategy that you have, arguing together with the other functions what should be the next moves we're doing, and sort of advocating for the user, well, the engineering lead at the same time is standing back together with the team, sort of filling in the void while you're absent. And I think this sort of feeling that I always had somebody to have my back really helped me with being a more successful product manager. When I'm thinking of some of the highlights and some of the more challenging opportunities I had in my career, I'm thinking of this one project where we were tasked with bringing to life a new sort of greenfield project. And it was really exciting and daunting at the same time because it was a huge challenge for us. We never had done this before. We couldn't have imagined the challenges up front that we would face. We were quite excited to approach it, but we were struggling on a daily basis. It was quite a tough time, and I think personally what I can share is that I figured out it's really hard to do these things alone. It's actually a lot more manageable when you have an ally on your side. And this is what we were doing together with my engineering lead. We were approaching every situation together to make sure that we can actually go through this and be a successful team in the end. And afterwards, I was wondering, okay, if this is the takeout, how can I help other people also foster this sort of a relationship without having to go through such a tough time? And then I realized one thing that I've been sort of missing in previous situations is I didn't quite always understand so well what the engineers do on a daily basis because I was lacking the technical perspective, the technical background. And I think having this sort of day-to-day interactions with them through these tough times made me empathize more with them, and also made the engineering lead empathize more with me as well. And I figured out that one way to have this sort of a working relationship really successful is to try and foster this sort of empathy between the two roles. Now, the good news is that everybody can achieve that. And I think it reminds me of a situation I had once when the lead came to me and said, you know what, there is this technical conference, and I think you should join me. And I was thinking, well, does it even make sense? It's for developers. I wouldn't understand the thing. And should I even be there? I just politely declined. But after some insistence, we did go. And okay, I understood a lot more than I thought, but that was beside the point. I think the main takeaway for me was I got to see this person being excited. I got to experience what inspires them. And I got to see I had this immersive experience of who they are as a professional outside of just our day-to-day. And this really helped me to sort of empathize more with them and to really understand them better. And I'm now not saying, try and drag your engineering lead to a technical conference or something like that. But what I'm saying is you can, in your day-to-day, identify these sort of situations where you could get out of your comfort zone and maybe see what is interesting for them and sort of engage with them on that level a little bit more. And maybe that is going to help you create that sort of meaningful bond. But you don't have to be the only one doing that. I think it takes two to tango, and you could also help them to put on the product manager hat for a while and get to see what it is to be you. Once I was recapping the results of a user study we've done to my team. And they noticed how energized I was and how happy I was when I was talking about customers. And for me, that wasn't really something surprising. But then I realized they haven't been probably to any user tests. They haven't seen any customers. So next time, actually, I took my lead with me. And I think based on the account he gave me afterwards, he had the same sort of immersive experience as well. He sort of figured out what drives me as a person, as a professional, what is interesting to me. And I think these sort of experiences are extremely meaningful way to create such bonds. And I think the key word here is inclusion. when we include others more and more into our activities, and when we get included as well, I think it really helps to align the people, to motivate them in a similar way, so we create these sort of shared values. I was thinking a lot about this, and I realized that I had to share this with more people, because I really wish there were more engineers here with us today, getting to know what it is to be a product manager. I wish that we can all spend more time consciously during our days to build such relationships with the engineers, with the designers, with the marketeers, and so on. Because I do believe that having that sort of working environment is really crucial to being a successful product manager. And I was also thinking, we often refer to technical depth, and we often talk about design depth, but there's also maybe the conscience of product depth. These are things that we could do on a daily basis to make our relationships with other people better, but we don't have the time, and maybe we will do it later. But we shouldn't actually incur that debt. We should actually act on it right now, because only by acting on it, you can make sure that you're moving in the right direction as a team. And I'm here today actually to pay my debt and say thank you to all of my engineering leads who've been together with me throughout my career, having my back. And I think what we're doing here today is we're enjoying this conference, and hopefully we don't have to think about what's going on in the office. But if you are taking Slack, and if you are a little bit worried, just remember there is somebody there that has your back. And if you are sending one message today on Slack, I do hope that it's this one. Thank you.